Alright, ready for Chapter 6 of The Instant Millionaire, written by Mark Fisher back in 1990. At least that's when it was published. In which the young man learns to focus on a goal. There's one thing I would like to say about focusing on something too, because everything is energy. Your thoughts are energy. So when you are focused, you are focusing your thoughts. You are creating that focused energy. And that will inevitably lead you in the direction that you are focusing on going. But you must take action. Feel free to ask me any questions that cross your mind, said the millionaire. It'll be a pleasure for me to answer them. Soon you won't be able to do so. Our time together is limited. So let's not waste it in futile discussions. Here's a pen. Do you have a piece of paper? Here it is. Do you really want to become rich? I most certainly do. All right then. Write down the amount of money you want and how much time you'll allow yourself to acquire it. Do you think money is going to drop like pennies from heaven just because I write a couple of numbers down on paper? Excuse me, sorry. Yes, I do, said the millionaire. I warned you that the secret would be simple. All the millionaires I've met told me they became rich the moment they set themselves an amount and a deadline by which to acquire it. If you don't know where you're heading, the chances are you'll never get anywhere. Now that is very important right there. If you don't know where you are heading, chances are you will never get there. Now there is a quote by Napoleon Hill, and well, I don't know if he's the one who actually says it, but it is in the book Think and Grow Rich, written by Napoleon Hill. And he says, I am the captain of my ship. I am the master of my soul. You are the captain of your ship. You are the master of your soul. It is up to you to steer yourself in the direction that you please. Because if you're not focused on a certain indefinite place to go, you're just going to be landing from island to island. But if you focus on one specific island and you set sail and ship off in that one direction, then most certainly you will make it. It sounds like magic to me, but that's exactly what it is, the magic of a quantified objective. Let's look at the problem from a different angle. Suppose you're trying to get a job. You go through all the necessary steps and finally get an interview. A short while later, you're told that you're going to be seriously considered. Then you find out you've got a job and you'll be making a lot of money. How would you react? For a start, you'd be really pleased with yourself, being chosen from dozens, perhaps hundreds of candidates. What a feat! And since you were unemployed before, say, 3 months, you'd think this was a very lucky break indeed. But once your initial euphoria has passed, what would be your next reaction? Well, I'd wonder when the job would start. Then I'd like to know the exact meaning of a lot of money. All things being relative, I'd try to find out exactly how much the salary was going to be and what kind of benefits would be offered. Good! If, for example, you asked your new boss what he meant by a lot of money, and all he was willing to do was guarantee that you would definitely earn a lot, you wouldn't be satisfied, would you? Worse yet, you'd probably start having second thoughts about his honesty. The fact that he refused to name a specific figure could quite possibly mean that there was something shady going on, and that your salary wasn't going to be as generous as he'd been implying. And if he refused to tell you the exact date you were supposed to start the job, you would really be suspicious, wouldn't you? You'd try to pin him down. I suppose I would, agreed the young man. And if you insisted on it and still couldn't get the details you wanted, you might just turn it down and start looking elsewhere. In fact, you'd be fully justified in doing so. You're right, the offer leaves a lot to be desired. The millionaire looked content. He paused a moment before proceeding, his lips still set in a teasing but good-natured smile. The questions you asked your potential employer were aimed at getting hard facts, right? Just knowing that you were going to earn a lot of money wasn't enough. You also wanted to know how much. Finding out that you'd been given the job Finding out that you'd been given the job didn't satisfy you either. You also wanted to know the exact starting date, and you'd probably want all of this in writing, because a contract adds backbone to a verbal agreement. Spoken words are ephemeral, but the written word is permanent. What most people, or at least the unsuccessful ones, are unaware of is that life gives us exactly what we ask for. Life, infinite intelligence, nature, the universal, energy. It is the nature of the universal spirit to respond to us, to give us exactly what it is we are seeking. I know for a fact that you've been looking for something, and it just so happened to come to you. Maybe in the form of a book, maybe in a video like this, maybe from somebody you met on the street. You set those things in motion because it was what you wanted to learn. You wanted to figure it out. You wanted to know something and become aware of something. So, infinite intelligence brought it to you. Life gave it to you. The first thing to do, therefore, is to ask for exactly what you want. If your request is vague, whatever you get will be just as muddled. If you ask for the minimum, you'll get the minimum. Any request you make must be absolutely precise. As far as monetary wealth is concerned, you must establish an amount and a deadline by which to make it. What do people generally do? Even those who want money and lots of it all make the same mistake. They don't establish an exact amount and a deadline by which to make it. If you need convincing, just ask someone exactly how much money he wants to earn next year. Ask him to reply right away. If this person is really on the road to success, if he really knows where he's going, and if he doesn't mind confiding in you, he'll be able to answer immediately. 9 out of 10 people, however, will be